Let's look at logarithm for both O and A level. Logarithms. An introduction. So a logarithm is written in the form C equals to log A B, where if we are to define those numbers there, these are numbers, C is a number, B is a number, A is a number, they are integers, and we call this C the exponent. We call this the base of the logarithm, and we call this A the argument. Okay, so what we need to note, or what else do we need to know? A logarithm given this form is read it as a logarithm or log of A, but we can say logarithm of A base B. Okay, so this logarithm is given in what we call the logarithmic notation. Logarithmic notation, and we can always change it to another notation which we call the index notation. So how can we change it to index notation? So changing this to index notation, it means like we have to remove the logarithm and we have the index or the indices. So this will be in index notation, it will be like C equals to log A base B will be index notation, the same as you keep the base, okay, and then we have this C coming to power the B, and then this will be equal to A. Like the base remains the same, but this one goes down, and then this becomes the power of B. So this is what we call index notation. So important to note. We shall see the importance of the two when we look at further about logarithms and working out numbers using logarithms. For example, if you have log x base 3 equal to 1, in this case, to find x, I may need to change it to logarithmic, sorry, to index notation. And how can I change it to index notation? So to index notation, I just change we say the base remains the same, the 1, this one comes and powers the 3, and then the base, we end up with this argument coming down. So we have that. Okay, so meaning our x is actually a 3. If you look at another example, if this was 1, if you have log of y base 5 equal to 0, change it to index notation. We said the base remains the same, bring the exponent, power it to the base, and then the argument comes down. So meaning you have your y. We looked at indices and we said any number to power 0 is a 1. So meaning your y is a 1. Yeah, so we shall look at more on how to use that, or to change when to apply this, changing from index notation to logarithmic notation, and also changing from logarithmic notation to index notation. Okay, now I want us to look at the laws that govern us when we are working with the logarithms. There are rules that we consider, just like in indices. even logarithms have laws that you must consider. Let me call them laws or the rules that we use when working with logarithms. 1. The law is about log of a product when this argument is a product of, for example, m and n, base b. Then we say that this is the same as log of m, like you separate the argument, base b, plus log of n base b, like they share the common base, okay, but the argument separates. That is, if there is multiplication, these numbers are multiplied. So we are taking b to be greater than 0. So but we also consider b not being equal to 1. So any number that is greater than 0 but not 1 can be our b, and m can be, we consider, in this case I'm considering positive numbers, positive integers. M, they are real numbers, but they should be positive integers. 2, if we have log of m over n base b, in this case we're dividing now, we're multiplying, now we are dividing. So what happens, we do the same, we separate the argument. Now in this case where there is division, here we shall subtract. So we shall have log n base b, like that. Okay, so 3. If you have these others are preliminary, if you have log of m to power k base b, then we say that it's the same as this k coming down, and then you multiply it with log m base b, where k is an integer. It may be a negative, it may be a positive. Then 4, if you have log a1 base b, then log 1 will always be a 0. Okay, log 1 will always be 0. Then 5, if you have log b base b, this one, like if the argument is the same as the base, this will always be equal to a 1. Okay, looking at others, 6, if you have log of b to power k base b, this is the same as, like, remember we said this k will come down, and then we say that log b base b is 1, so meaning this one will always give you a k. Okay, as long as the base of the argument is the same as the base of the logarithms, then that will be the solution. And lastly, we can say if you have b powered by log of maybe k base b, like the base of the whole function is equal to the base of the logarithm, then this one is equal to also k. Yeah, so those are the laws of logarithms that we need to know, and why or how we convert from logarithmic notation to index notation. So in the next episode we shall look at how we can apply the laws and changing from index notation to logarithmic notation, and vice versa in solving equations. Don't forget to subscribe, to share, and also to like or comment when this work is good to you. Thank you for watching. wait for the next episode.